Hi, I'm Ken Carpenter, and this is Invest AI Savvy, where AI powers smart investing. Welcome to Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. The macro story looks one way on the surface and completely different underneath, and BuzzPulse AI is picking up the gap between the two. That gap is where the edge lives today. Here's the overnight story. The International Energy Agency proposed the largest oil reserve release in its history, a move that should have put a lid on crude. Markets tried the relief trade. It did not stick. As of this morning, crude oil is right back up 4.5% to 87.24. The underlying supply anxiety, driven by geopolitical tensions at the Strait of Hormuz, is winning. Stock futures are pointing to a modest loss at the open. S&P down 4 basis points, Dow off 13, NASDAQ down 8. Not a rout, but the confidence behind yesterday's bounce is thin. The 10-year Treasury is ticking up 4.17%. One bright spot, Oracle reported upbeat earnings after Tuesday's close, and the social data is confirming it. The most important number this morning hasn't dropped yet. US CPI data hits today in an environment where crude is ripping higher and recession whispers are appearing in the social channels. That print has the potential to move everything. We'll come back to that in the close. BuzzPulse scanned 114 assets showing elevated or surging discussion this morning. 14 equities, 6 crypto in the top 20. Overall sentiment averages plus 0.19. Constructive, but not euphoric. The crowd is cautiously positioning, not piling in with conviction. 0 explosive surge alerts fired this morning. No A-plus conviction setups. That's BuzzPulse telling us to stay disciplined. The attention is broad, but the high confidence, multi-factor setups aren't there yet. Here's what's standing out. The single most important signal in today's entire scan is crude oil, ticker CL. The Z-score of 4.8, that's discussion volume running nearly 5 standard deviations above the 30-day average, and it's confirmed across 4 separate data sources. BuzzPulse has flagged this with an exit watch setup scoring 88.2 out of 100. Sentiment is negative at minus 0.29. The catalyst is a shooting star candlestick pattern on the daily chart, a classic bearish reversal signal where price rallies hard intraday but gives back most of the gains by the close. Combined with negative social sentiment, or source confirmation and stalling momentum, this is the strongest individual signal in the pipeline today. The big crude move may be showing exhaustion. Coinbase is the equity standout this morning, up 1.3% on the day, sentiment at plus 0.27, confirmed momentum, and 88 mentions against a baseline of 53, with 2 sources confirming. Here's the key detail. Price action is leading social chatter, not following it. When institutions or informed money moves first and retail buzz builds after, that's a healthier signal structure than the reverse. Coin today is the cleaner of those 2 patterns. Oracle rounds out the top 3. 31 mentions against a baseline of 10, sentiment at plus 0.35, driven by the Tuesday earnings beat and data center expansion news the Wall Street Journal confirmed this morning. The reaction is favorable but measured. Sentiment isn't running hot, which is actually healthy. The market likes the report but isn't chasing it. The divergence that matters most today is SPY. The S&P 500 ETF is up nearly a full percent on the day, but social sentiment reads at essentially 0, plus 0.01. The crowd is not trusting this bounce. When the broadest market proxy rallies and sentiment stays flat, BuzzPulse calls that a contrarian watch signal. If the rally continues, that skepticism becomes fuel for a short squeeze. If it rolls over, there's very little positive positioning to unwind. The pain trade might actually be to the upside. Watch how SPY sentiment evolves through the session. 3 things to watch for the rest of the day. First and most important, the CPI print. If inflation comes in hot, the recession plus inflation narrative embedded in today's social data gets validated and risk sentiment could flip fast. Everything else on the list runs through that number. Second, crude oil. The exit watch set up at 88.2 is the strongest individual signal in the scan. Watch for follow-up selling on that shooting star pattern. If CL rolls over, the entire energy complex shifts, and those straight up 4 moves narratives become noise. Third, SPY sentiment. If that near zero reading lurches negative after the CPI print, this mixed regime session tips decisively risk off before the close. If it holds or moves positive, the skeptics get squeezed. BuzzPulse will tell us which way the crowd is leaning in real time. Today is a patience day. The data is telling us to watch, not chase. Until tomorrow, I'm Ken Carpenter. This is Invest AI Savvy, and that's the way it is.